my favorite one. Oh shit, cake is up to $3.5. That's because of Binance Coin. Now look, wow, it's up like almost 50% now. Wow, amazing. So my token of choice is TRVL. I wear the Dtravel hat. I've got the Dtravel Superman t-shirt. I'm a strong advocate for Dtravel. I don't work for Dtravel. I don't get paid by Dtravel, but I'm a really strong advocate for Dtravel. Why? And I've talked about this many times in the past. I have properties on the Dtravel network. I'm going to show you now if this loads. I hope it does. There you go. This is my backend. I've completed 36 bookings and I have realized earnings over the last 3 years of $66,796. So I think if you've been following me, you see that it was 34, it was 33, it was 35, 36. So you can see it's going up. So if people are following me, you can see this going up. These are my listings. This is my direct booking website created by Dtravel for free. And what it does is it allows me to have my own direct booking website, as well as have my listings on Airbnb and booking.com. I don't have to be on either or. It's not mutually exclusive. I can be in all of them. And the calendars sync. And that's the great thing about Dtravel, that I don't have to worry about the syncing of the calendars. This is my Airbnb profile. I'm an almost 5-star rating, 4.99. I've been hosting for a bunch of time, nearly 10 years, 185 reviews, same properties, just on Airbnb. So I have a really strong profile and I'm advocating for Dtravel. I've got the proof of concept. I can show you clearly that this is working as a real world application, as a real world business with realized earnings, which has come into my pocket. I pay taxes on that. I'm self-declared in the UK, and with real bookings that show that there is a market for direct bookings, people who are returning, people who want to book directly, people who are referred through friends or word of mouth. And Dtravel is building a web application for travelers. And here you'll be able to search and book. At the moment, I'm in Buenos Aires in Argentina, but my mission is El Salvador. So that's what I've been doing over the last period of time. I've been trying to onboard properties in El Salvador onto the Dtravel network. So far, we've taken it from 0 to 12 results. These are different properties, different listings in El Salvador. And naturally, you can see that once this was 0, now we have 12. We have different locations. And my objective, oh, this is lovely. This is a new one. Look, boutique hotel with hot water. This is our newest addition to the Dtravel network in El Salvador. And I visited this property a couple of times. It's beautiful. And look at that. Look how amazing this property is. Look at those rooms. The location is off the charts. It's an amazing location. Again, you don't have to be off Airbnb. You can be on Airbnb. You can be, this is Angela. She's a 5-star superhost, 7 years hosting. She's got a bunch of properties too. And we're onboarding people. We're bringing them onto the Dtravel network. Because this is the beginning of something new. And if you've been following me, you'll be following some of the things I've been talking about Dtravel. And so right now, people don't really understand Dtravel. I think a lot of people think it's just an Airbnb alternative without Airbnb, so cutting out the middleman. And what I've been talking about is big changes coming, yeah? Mega changes coming. And so right now, when you're looking at the real world network, you can see the growth of our real world network, and you can go to this link on June Analytics. You can have a look at that. I'll paste it into chat now, so the link is there for you guys, but you can see the link here. It's just that And you can see that we've got quite steady, I wouldn't call this exponential growth, I'll just call this proportional growth, steady growth over time. So we haven't actually hit exponential growth yet. We've got 5,644 listings over 140 countries in 1,238 cities, with an average booking value of $828 over the last 3 years. So everyone looks at this and think, okay, this is just another Airbnb. It's a decentralized Airbnb. It's a DAO, or it's becoming a DAO. And what I'm telling you right now is that actually this is going to be much, 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 much bigger than you could ever imagine. And I'm not going to reveal why and how just yet. But that's what we've been talking about. So Eric, he's the new CEO. This is my new Twitter X page cover. This is Eric on the right. This is me on the left. He came to visit me in El Salvador. He was here for 6 days. He's coming back to El Salvador in about a week's time. So I'm in Buenos Aires now, but I'm going to return to El Salvador in 6 days or 5 days time. And he's going to come and meet me there with his family. And we've been talking about big changes to Dtravel and TRVL. And if you watch my last video, and you should, this is the one. It's called Exciting TRVL. No, that's not the one. This is the one, the longest one, because these are these newest ones are just cuts from the long one. It's called Dtravel Update, Big Changes Coming, Leadership Shift, and Why I'm Bullish on the Future. And I explain in this video why, and I kind of hint at certain things. But the biggest thing is the leadership change, the leadership shift, and the leadership shift indicates a change in direction of the whole project. And so while the previous leadership were focused on creating an alternative Airbnb, the reality is that a lot of people on Airbnb won't come to Dtravel for many reasons. But one of the reasons why is that they're willing to pay the extra cost because of the advantages that they get, or the not enough advantages they get with Dtravel. Does that make sense? So people aren't going to leave Airbnb for saving 10% because there isn't enough perceived advantage with Dtravel. They don't see the value. They think, well, I'm willing to pay the extra 10% or 15%, whatever it is, because the cost benefit is still with Airbnb. I'm not getting enough benefit with Dtravel to justify shifting to Dtravel. It doesn't matter about the size. It's about the benefit. It's about the cost benefit. And so they're willing to pay the extra on Airbnb or booking.com because they're not getting enough advantages with Dtravel. That's changing. And the way we're going to change that, and just to kind of give people a little bit of a hint, is here. The token. And what we've been talking about in the past, and we've been talking about this for a long time now, over 2 years, has been an ongoing discussion with a disconnection between the token and the real world network. And so what you're seeing on the higher time frame with TRVL is a disconnect. This is the disconnect. The token keeps on going down in price. Effectively, people are just selling, buying and selling, but the sell pressure is more than the buying pressure. And what you're getting is the opposite in terms of the real world network. You see that? The growth of the network, the growth of the value of the network is going up. There's a massive disconnect. They're almost opposite. It makes no sense. The reason why is because the previous leadership created a tokenomics idea. If you go to the documents, you can read about that here in the documentation. A tokenomics model which didn't work. It was broken from the get-go. Actually, I don't think it was broken, okay? I think it was, I don't dare I say too far ahead of its time, but I think it was assuming that the whole world was using Dtravel and Dtravel was already a success. So a massive assumption was made without taking consideration of how to get from nothing or a fledgling, a small startup, to the size of what is required for this tokenomics model to work. So this was only going to work with the assumption that Dtravel was already a thriving business, with no consideration of how to take it from a fledgling business or a fledgling decentralized application to a successful decentralized application. There was no in between. There was no way to grow it from nothing to something. And so we can have discussions and debates about tokenomics all day long, but the reality is that the market rejected this idea. It's just a fact. When this was launched, somewhere around March last year, I'll show you on the token price. It was launched in March around here. See that? That's when the new tokenomics was launched. And what happened? The price of TRVL dropped 78%. We had a buyback, but the buyback only ended up in a lower high, and then we got the big sell-off. And the big sell-off coincided with the previous CEO going on maternity leave without instilling an interim CEO. So the Dtravel ended up without a CEO for a period of time. There was a lot of hush-hush at what was happening. There was no official announcement, and people who were behind the scenes disingenuously probably sold and left the project, and that led to a massive sell storm. And what happened was that we lost the all-time low. It was somewhere around February, and then that's when I called for heads to roll. I called for heads to roll, and effectively I was pushed out of the project because the previous leadership was unwilling to take accountability and responsibility for what they had actually created, which is fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Okay, bringing us to our current position. Nothing's changed in terms of what needs to change. The previous tokenomics doesn't work. It's not relevant because it only is applicable to a massively successful business, which we're not at yet. And so what needs to change is the tokenomics. Fundamentally, that is the first thing that needs to change. And that is what I'm saying is going to change. The tokenomics is changing, right? What we're going to do is we're going to correct the mistake that was made, which is the disconnection between the value of the network, which is growing, and the value of the token, which has always been disconnected from the network growth. That's the primary change that's coming in the future, and the future is not far along. I mean, I'm talking near future. I'm not talking midterm or higher time frame. I'm talking lower time frame. I'm talking as a matter of weeks or maybe a couple of months or something like that, very close. That's what's changing. And that is going to change everything, because then as the network grows, the token will grow. And then what we can do then as Dtravel true believers is grow the real world network. And that's actually what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to grow the real world network, because then there'll be a direct connection between the growth of the real world network and the value of TRVL. And in the future, what you're going to see is you're going to see this number of listings go from 5,644 to 25,000 to 50,000 to 100,000, and we'll be able to pump during the bear market. And that's our aspiration. That's our ambition. So this is the biggest thing that's going to be changing. It's a massive change in direction. We're going to give TRVL real value within the Dtravel ecosystem, value that people will be able to have from the get-go. You're going to understand why to accumulate and hodl TRVL for the long term. And you're going to understand why grow the real world network. You're going to understand why bring your bookings onto Dtravel as opposed to Airbnb. And you're going to understand why people should travel with Dtravel. So we're targeting all of those areas. We're targeting the hosting, the investor side, why stake, why hold TRVL for the long term, the hosting side, why people should bring their properties onto Dtravel, why people should bring their bookings onto Dtravel. We're tackling the traveler side, why people should travel on the Dtravel network and why people should use TRVL to book and reserve properties on the Dtravel network, and the community side. And it's going to be a grassroots movement. We're not just talking about a pump and dump tokenomics or a disconnected tokenomics from the real world growth. We're talking about a movement that we're going to create. It's not going to be another Shopify. It's not going to be another Airbnb. We're talking about a new idea, a new economy that we're going to be creating. It's going to be centered around positive energy coming into travel, targeting community, targeting travelers, targeting hosts and operators, and targeting investors, the whole shebang. Okay, so this is coming. This is happening. Watch this space. I've given you a lot of information. And so naturally, we're starting to see some bullish price action. Let's just go to the charts. I've been really bullish on TRVL, as you know. Now, this is interesting because the 3-monthly candle printed, didn't it? And I really wanted a piercing candle. We didn't get it. We didn't get a piercing candle. And what does that mean? I still think this is bullish. This is an inverse hammer. Look at the volume of this candle. It's off the charts. It's 4.14 billion TRVL in volume over the last 3 months. If you remember, and so I really want to just give you guys some insight. I came back and recommenced my streams on the 6th of July. Yeah. If you go to my pet playlist, my Dtravel playlist, and you scroll down and have a look at when I restarted my stream. So basically, look, I stopped my stream 7 months ago. See that? I stopped in my last stream. This is a cut. My last stream was 7 months ago on the 11th February. You see that? And I restarted my stream. Here it says 2 months ago. Look at this. Big Dtravel changes. And you go back and watch the stream if you want. Look at where the price was. Look at where the price of TRVL was. When I recommenced my stream, yeah, look at it. It was at, God, can I even see that? It's like 0.0054. Look at that. On the 6th of July, that's when I recommenced my stream. Okay. It says 2 months ago. It says 6th of July. You see that? 6th of July. Right? And if you look at the charts, in the last 3 months, and so basically this 3-month candle is July, August, and September. That's 3 months. And look at the volume that we've had in the last. So ever since I started my stream, we've had, it's incredible. We've had 4.14 billion TRVL in volume since I restarted my stream. Since I made that first video, big Dtravel changes will cause TRVL to explode in price. You see that? The market is reacting to the changes that are about to happen in Dtravel and in TRVL with a massive buy, with a massive volume increase. And that is testament to the failure of the previous leadership and the direction that they were taking us. They were taking us down the wrong path, and the market knew it. And now the market sees that everything is now about to head in the right direction, and the market is buying. That's what's happening. It's just in the charts. The charts never lie. You just can't ignore what the chart is saying. The chart is saying we've had the most volume ever in 3 months since I came back, July, till now. It's crazy. The nearest volume we've had was 1.36 billion. Look at that. Here, 1.31. We've like 3x the volume at the lows of this candle. This is an inverse hammer. It's a really bullish candle. Now, I would have preferred a piercing candle. We didn't get that. All right. What does that mean? It means we still have a little bit of work to do, right? it means the market is still slightly apprehensive, not sure yet how it's going to receive the changes yet. They're not sure about the changes yet. We haven't announced the changes in detail. All they're seeing is that here I am on YouTube telling people there's a massive shift in direction, posting pictures of me and Eric on X, Eric coming to El Salvador, coming back to El Salvador, starting to see that we're doing work in El Salvador, Central South America. I'm in Buenos Aires now, which is all the way down here. I'm all the way down here somewhere here, wherever we are. I don't know. I've got to find it. And people are getting a little bit excited. They're starting to accumulate, but yeah, we still have to change the tokenomics. We still had to get rid of the FUD. We still have to help people to understand what's going on with all of these different weird funds that no one really understands. No, I never really understood the community treasury, the foundation reserve. I didn't understand why they were segregated. I never understand how and why all these contributors and advisors got so much TRVL for basically doing jack shit or for taking us to continued lower lows. There's so much uncertainty in the previous direction of Dtravel. And here I am now trying to bring certainty, remove the fear and get rid of the doubt. And that's what we're experiencing now. We're starting to experience a shift in sentiment. So we didn't get the close above the 3 month. I don't think it matters because remember what I said, the monthly candle mustn't close below the previous month low, and it didn't. I didn't want the monthly candle to close lower. It didn't. So this red monthly candle was an inside candle. It's actually quite bullish because it was increasing volume and it failed to close lower. That's actually quite bullish. Okay. It means the bears were in control for that whole month, but they failed to close lower. They failed to make that candle a bearish engulfing candle. It closed higher than the previous month low. It's an in-range candle. It's bound by the previous candle range. So it's just a range-bound candle. And effectively, people who bought in at the beginning of the month were buying at the beginning, at the exact low of that month range. And the price is from that low, it's already 23% higher, right? I bought some. I bought about 120, 140,000 TRVL right at the low because it's obvious what was happening. It was obvious what it was, all right? It's not a 3 month piercing candle. And at the moment, what I'm looking at is exactly what I told you. I'm looking for the price to break and hold 2 cents. Nothing's changed. So I'm still on that page. I'm still looking for a break and hold of 2 cents. And I'm just wondering what happens next. Could this be, I mean, it looks like an inverse head and shoulders except that this head is higher than that shoulder. So it's a bit weird the way it looks. But we are in bullish market structure. Could this be the higher low that we were hoping for? That's the higher high. This is the higher low. What we'll find out if the price can break the neckline there. If we get a break to the upside, then we're probably looking at a 3 cents target. Kind of exactly what I was talking about before. If we can get a break, and then if we can hold 2 cents by the end of the year, that's going to look really bullish. And so I just want to kind of show you what bullish looks like. I'm looking at the yearly candle, and ideally what I want to see is the yearly candle to close above the previous all-time low. For that candle to close not lower but above 2 cents. And then, because if it closes lower, it would be a bearish engulfing with crazy red volume. And if it did that, then we'd probably have another rotation to the lows. But if it closes higher than the previous all-time low, then it's just it's just a range-bound candle. It's an inside candle, and it's a swing failure of this low on a yearly time frame, which makes it extremely bullish. So this is the real test. The next 3 months is going to be a real test for Dtravel and for TRVL to see how this yearly candle closes. And the next 3 months is going to be really important for what happens next in Dtravel and TRVL. how this closes next. We need to close above the previous all-time low. So if you're a bull, if you're bullish and you want to see higher prices, then have it in your mind that we close the end of this year above the previous all-time low, right? The exact number is going to be whatever this low is here. There. I can mark it out here. We need to close above this level. So 0.019613, thereabouts. I would say 2 cents, to be honest with you. That's our target. And so if you're bullish, then let's do this. Let's close the end of the year above that level. And then this yearly candle is going to look really, really bullish. It'll be like a swing failure of this low. And then the next year, i.e. next year, we're going to have a really massive move to the upside. An explosive move. And probably heading for at least 30 cents. Can you imagine that? Right up to there. And that will be a complete reversal of this candle. And then who knows? Who knows what happens next? Because crazy things can happen. If we get this kind of candle with this kind of volume, with a swing failure of the all-time low, then actually you could get a crazy, crazy next candle. Could be the God candle of the ages. And I'm still targeting all-time highs. I really am. Like, and people think I'm a bit mental. I've got an idea of the changes that are coming. I think the market's going to get really excited. So I'm still targeting all-time highs. It's going to be next year. I can't see it this year, but I'm thinking next year we could have an attack of the all-time highs with what's coming. All right. So that's my TRVL update. I'm really positive on the future. If you guys want to interact with me, then just feel free to comment on this video. Also, you can come onto Telegram. I'm always chatting here. This is me in green. And lots of chats. That's where I post my videos too, which is on my X page. We're getting lots of people join. Gregory, who's Gregory? Michael, welcome, welcome. We see you get new bookings processed. More welcome people. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Look, new booking process, new site activated, new booking processed. Lots of activity here. And I know that Andrea is in Dubai right now. And I know that James went to the Singapore token conference. So we're actually pretty active in these crypto conferences. I think Andrea went to Korea as well, South Korea. So there's a lot of things happening. I'm here in South America right now. I'm here in Buenos Aires representing Dtravel. But my main mission is El Salvador, and Eric, the CEO, is coming to El Salvador next week. So there's some big things happening across the board in Dtravel. Let's have a look at the X page for Dtravel and see what's going on there. Anything interesting? No caption needed. Our face when they told us they were all in crypto but keep paying their trips with fiat. It's a little bit of a joke. It's quite funny. Next big step, listing properties in Singapore so travelers and locals can receive and pay with XSGD. Only possible thanks to Dtravel and Base. Okay, so nothing new yet. A lot of people ask me about the marketing. What's going on with the marketing? Well, that's one of my missions, actually. One of my missions is the marketing. I'm not going to reveal anything yet. But when it happens, you guys are going to be so shocked and so surprised and so impressed. Just watch this space. I've got some ideas and I think they're going to blow your mind. Yeah. And actually, that's what we need. We need the community to rise up. Buy some TRVL so you have skin in the game, not financial advice. And then you, I are the marketeers. We, I are the D-travelers. We, I are the hosts. We, I are the investors. We, I are the people who can turn D-travel into the movement that I believe it's about to become. So watch this space. Thank you for tuning into my streams. I'm always here, always available, happy to have a chat. Come onto Telegram, comment on my X page, comment underneath my videos. Happy to engage with anyone who's interested to chat. This is me on the plane. My see, I'm always wearing my Dtravel hat, no messing about. And there is another picture actually I wanted to show you. Just a little kind of El Salvador picture. I don't think it's been posted anywhere, so it's a little sneak peek of what's going on in El Salvador. We're doing a lot of work there, and the hardest part is the beginning, always the beginning. I'm just opening it up on WhatsApp here, and then I'm just going to paste it in. My WhatsApp's a little bit slow. Let me just try and find it first. Oh my god, my WhatsApp is really slow. Give me a second, let me just quickly find it. Oh, wait, I don't think I can find it. How embarrassing is that? I'm sure I can. Oh, there it is. Alright, I'm going to paste it here. But the image paste is way too large. What the hell? Alright, I'm going to have to print screen. There you go. Look at this. This is our new initiative, Dtravel El Salvador. And so we're working really hard. Okay. And actually the Dtravel El Salvador collective went to an orphanage. So a little bit of a photo op. I wasn't there. I was somewhere else doing something else. But we're really working hard to create something big. And Dtravel is more than just what people perceive it to be, an Airbnb or Shopify. It's not. It's much bigger. You'll see. All right. Thanks for joining my stream, and watch this space. We'll see you next Friday. Take care.